What is up, takers, and welcome back to Ty's Take Today Live. I know it's been a minute. Episode 53 is dropping now, and coming up today, we are talking to author Kristy Love, and she is the author of this book. Today is going to be one of the best days of my life, and let me tell y'all, I'm not even fronting. I am almost done with this book and it is so good. Very inspiring, super addicting, and I can't stop reading it. So that being said, you know how we do. Facebook.com/ at It's Ty's Take Today. Follow us on Instagram at It's Ty's Take Today. And then, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. You can see all of our past episodes. You can even see what's coming up in the near future. And we're going to be back on our grind. So coming soon, we'll be right back at it Thursdays and Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern instead of 6. That's the only difference. And then, of course, if you're watching this video on Facebook and YouTube, be sure to share your take, your perspective in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And like I said, I'm super excited. She's no stranger to the takers. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and add our guest to the virtual studio. Hey, Kristy.
Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning. We're gonna already start. Today is going to be one of the best days
Best
of my
day?
life. Say it.
Yes. Today is going to be one of the best days of my life.
Thank you so much again for joining us. I know our schedules have been crazy busy, but I've been
Yes.
seeing you everywhere. 105.1 The Bounce. You're doing it. You're hitting it. Every Detroiter is going to have a copy of this book
Yes,
before.
they need to. They need to.
I really just want to dive right in. Since we introduced you on our first interview, I kind of want to talk. You know, you've said that you knew that you were meant for so much more than where you currently were at that time. So can you take us back to that moment when you actually realized that the life you were living was no longer aligned with the life that you were meant to create?
Yes. So that is part of chapter one. And I want to say that was about 2012. So I probably was like 20 turning 21. Don't age me. But
Okay.
I was 20 turning 21. I remember I was working, I worked out in Ann Arbor and I worked at Mott's Children's Hospital. And I was working like in a cafe, making like $9 out, getting through college. And I'm like, man, I'm not a morning person, so let's just start there. I don't like to talk early in the morning, and that job and a couple of other jobs forced me to be like an early morning person. And I'm just like, I should be able to like create my own hours, do my own thing, like. But at the same time, just remembering that I am still young. But I just remember being in that moment, like, dang, in order to really get to where I want to be, I have to mentally start to becoming better than what I am now, than like my current thought process is. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. Like, I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. I just know that people that do those kind of things, like, they have to be great. Like, they're mentally great, they're disciplined, and they go after all of the things. So I'm like, I need to adapt to that mindset and start like mentally just becoming great. And that's just really where it all started.
Absolutely. And so we mentioned the title of the book is called Today is Going to Be One of the Best Days of My Life. For someone that is hearing that title, like just maybe for the first time, it can sound like maybe like, just a super overly like dramatic or positive statement.
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean when you break it down? When life is difficult, when we're given a challenge or we're being tested or,
Yeah.
just moments of like doubt or like uncertainty. Like break down that for us.
Yes. So like you said, literally people will be like, "Oh, like, well, that means that everything goes right in this day." That does not mean that. So today is going to be one of the best days of my life. My saying and expression around it is, today will be a great day despite of what other challenges, obstacles, things like that I face. If I still have breath in my body, solutions, problems, just things that I can kind of manage and work um, within my capacity, then today will still be great. The whole goal is to really challenge people and help people to understand, like, we're still living. We still have time here. We don't just have to exist with the challenge the challenges and obstacles that we face. Like, we still can have some of the best days despite of what reality, may show us. And it's just all about perspective.
Absolutely. And, you know, for me, what really stood out when reading it personally was you're not telling people that, you know, life is going to be great 24/7. You're not
Right.
telling people ignore your problems or act like it's an Instagram aesthetic and, you know, like
Yeah.
it's a quote that we just are posting or because I feel like so many people, especially with social media, sometimes it can be a blessing and a curse. Like you
Yeah.
only see what people want you to see. So
Yeah.
like, this isn't just some Pinterest quote that we're slapping on something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so you talk about the differences between simply existing and actually living. How do we
Mm.
recognize that, like once you're stuck in that survival mode, or you know that those environments that our brain is wired to, you know, repetition. So if you're so used to being in these types of environments or these situations or doing living life the way that you've been living, that automatic is like, oh, my brain is like that's how it's supposed to be, but it
Right.
really isn't.
We really have the power, and this is another reason why I wanted to write this book. Really teaching people about how their brain works, how your thoughts works, because all of us have the ability to change the things, but we have not been taught how to do so. So I created a book to teach people, at least at bare minimum level, how to do those things. So being able to recognize whether you're in survival, whether you're just existing, a lot of the times, if you look and take inventory of your day, right? If you are consistently doing the same things, like, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I know I got to go to work. For majority of us, prayerfully, I know I got to go to work. I don't like my job. I make the same amount of money, and I have to save this amount of money over here, and then I have to deal with these coworkers, and I have to deal with my kids, and it's just like when you automatically wake up and think about all of these things, it sounds kind of draining. And so you start to put a perspective on your reality, like, this is a negative thing, this is a negative thing, this is a negative thing. And then your brain is constantly rehearsing the same thing each and every single day. It's repetitive. So it's looking at all of your circumstances and your situations as all of these things are negative. I'm simply just existing within the day. I know I probably do want to go back to school so I could get a better job, but I don't know if I had the time. I don't know if I have the resources. When you haven't even tapped into looking to see what might be available for you, that's what I call just simply existing. It may sound like a good idea in your head, but you haven't put it on paper or you haven't decided this is the action step I'm going to take. That's the existing part of life. Now, the living would be more so of, I really don't like some of the things that are going on with my life. And I'm going to do something about it. Whether it's, okay, I'm going to go back to school. Okay, I'm going to look for a new job. Okay, I'm going to start my business. Or I'm going to move, to Florida because the sunshine is there and I have family there. Whatever the case is, taking those risks instead of just accepting that, well, this is just what it's going to be. Everything is always constantly changing. And if you have the power to change it, which most things are in our willpower to change, if you have the power to change it, then that's when you can really start living and not simply just existing.
Absolutely. And you know, you talk a lot about the subconscious mind. And can you talk to like for people that maybe not be, you know, familiar with like the medical terms and the actual terms, how does like our subconscious influence our beliefs, habits, and even our like emotional responses or, you know, the way you see yourself from time to time?
Yeah. So, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yep. Are you able to hear me
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Yep. Um. So, as far as the subconscious, this is how I really explain it to people. So, you have your subconscious mind, and then you have your conscious mind. So, the subconscious, it doesn't understand or kind of differentiate what's real, what's imagined. The conscious mind can tell the difference, like what's real and what's imagined. So if I'm feeding my subconscious mind, things always work out for me. Everything goes my way. I'm telling myself these new stories, new patterns, doing all the new things, right? My subconscious mind is like, okay, cool, that's true. That's a fact for you. If I'm doing the same thing with the negative things, the subconscious mind is like, okay, cool. That's true. That's a fact for you. So we are in control of 95% of our subconscious. So I heard this person say one time, if we're in control of 95% of our subconscious mind, then we should have all of the things that we want. Right. And when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, like that's that's true. But it's about our patterns, how we perceive things, the thoughts that we continuously have. And that's why I always express, even with myself, continuously rewrite the story, rewrite the narrative about how it works out for you, how things are going your way, in detail of how it is going your way. So, in a simple terms, that's how I kind of try to explain the subconscious.
Absolutely. And, speaking of rewriting the narrative, you're just segueing me into my next question. So, you stress how important it is to rewrite that narrative, especially like, that you have about yourself, including rejection, abandonment, relationships, grieving the loss of a loved one, and just overall relationships and like your worth. What is one question that someone can ask themselves when they realize that they've been telling themselves the same painful story over and over and over? Because some of us have been through it, especially with relationships and dating, and that constant like, oh, but it'll get
Yeah.
better. Let me just ride it out. Let me just ride it out. But it's not getting any better, and you know that deep down, but you're still allowing yourself to be stuck in a situation that you don't have to be stuck in.
Listen, been there. Been there, 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 been there. um, so here's the thing. And this is challenging, and this is why I had to challenge myself and I challenged other people. We have, okay, two things. We have the notion like, all men are like this, men are like this, men are like this, or women are like this, women are like this, whatever. That is a story, a narrative, right? That we tell ourselves. And I know it is hard to detach from those conversations when you're talking to your friends, like, oh, that's how they are. Like, that's how they gonna be. But, and I'm about to start doing this too in this season, challenging myself to rewrite the narrative. Like when I meet men, um, they treat me like royalty. They treat me how I'm supposed to be. They see my worth. They know my value. You got to start talking to yourself like that to call in the energy and frequency of people, not only just men or women, but the people that see your value, that see your worth. But you have to understand and know your value and know your worth as well. And that is something that it's not a 3-month process. There's no exercise to do that a certain or specific way. This is years worth of healing and work that you put in to understand your value and your worth and things like that. So that's one thing. Changing the narrative about how you see the other party involved, right? And then staying stuck, I guess I would say. Staying stuck in situationships, relationships that don't see your value, don't see your worth, and you continue to stay in that stuck cycle. Um, it's really about doing it brave. You be like, I am terrified of. A lot of us don't like to be lonely. Like, I don't like to be lonely. A lot of us don't like to be lonely. We're scared of change. I'm terrified of change, even though I tell people all the time things are changing. Like, but I'm the first to tell people I hate change. Like, I hate it. But at the same time, with life, you learn to embrace it. And so when you do break up with someone or when somebody does break up with you, there is that gut punch like, oh my God. Like the last time I got broken up with, it was that gut punch, but it was also like, I've seen myself through this like multiple times. And at the end, you will be okay. But whatever lesson it is that you need to dive into and learn, let's do it. Like, let's do it with tears. Let's do it frustrated. Let's do it mad. Like, let's do it. And that part of it is really, I think I kind of talk about this in the book, really doing the mirror work, like looking at yourself at the mirror. And a lot of people are not ready to do that. Like that causes your insecurities to come up, things that you settle for, being by yourself. not having to cling on to what you were already clinging. It causes you to be out there and vulnerable, and nobody likes that. That's why
Mhm.
sometimes you see a lot of people running from person to person to person to person, because you're trying to fill a void within people when really you're supposed to be feeling that all like within yourself so you can stand and be whole. But that's it's not easy. It's not
Absolutely
easy.
not.
But
Absolutely.
sometimes a lot of those things, when we think about pain and suffering, I say this in the book too, a lot of the times we are causing our own suffering by clinging to things that have expired. And that's not just people, it's, jobs, like a whole bunch of other things. So just take inventory of things that you've been clinging to, that you're always complaining about. Like, dang, like if, for example, we're just gonna call it out. If you know your man or your woman or whatever, nobody's perfect. If they're not a good match for you, they keep consistently cheating, the communication is bad, all of the things, right? But you continue to stay, but you're also suffering. You are the root cause of this suffering because you have an option of what to do. Is it easy? Heck no. Like, no. But how long can you continue to suffer? So,
Right. Or yeah, and even like especially like dating and relationships, like even like if you're constantly having those same conversations over and over, and oh, things are gonna change, things are gonna change, things are gonna change, and things aren't changing. The communication ain't
it ain't communicating.
it's not working. And like you said, it's not easy. And you mentioned that in the book several times. Like this isn't just some process that's gonna be like, oh, you read the book. No, now you gotta do
You
the
have to do
work.
the
You gotta,
work.
while you're reading the book, do the activities, to take these steps, but then even come back, reread it again, try it again.
Yeah.
It may not work the first time.
And I do
Um,
it too. I read this book, y'all. Like, I read this book and I be like, okay, yeah, like we're gonna go try it again.
For sure. So for someone that is watching who may be questioning their worth, like we said, because either a relationship ended, somebody didn't choose them, or someone didn't show up for them the way they show up for said person.
Yeah.
What would you want people to know, like when it comes to like knowing your self worth? Like, what do you hope that readers take away?
Woo. This is advice to myself too, y'all, by the way. Um, if somebody doesn't choose you, the important thing before you even enter into a relationship, let's just say you're in the process, you might like somebody and y'all might be about to get it going, or you might be looking. Before you even get into a relationship, it is important that you feel, to me, in my personal opinion, you at least feel 90% whole within yourself. Because the moment that somebody doesn't choose you, doesn't value you, cheats on you, whatever the case is, the moment that that happens, you'll automatically run to, what did I do wrong? Right? And most of the times it's not something that you did. Most of the times, sometimes you get into relationships with people that don't even value or love themselves. So let's start there. You have to be able to determine those things and realize some of those things has nothing to do with you. I'm not saying that the process is easy just because you are whole before you get in a relationship, but it does sting less that, okay, you know what, I came into this relationship whole, I gave it my all, and either it just wasn't in alignment or that person still has work. That doesn't mean that my value has decreased. That just means, next time I just need to choose better and ask more like there's certain, like from my previous relationship, there are certain things that I could have avoided if I just started to ask like more questions. Sometimes, we're going with the flow of things, but sometimes the flow of things can cause suffering. So before you even enter into a space, like, make sure that you have you before you try to have somebody else. If I could break it down in simple terms, like, have you, because it lightens the sting just a little bit, because you still have you at the end of the day. You didn't lose you because you lost this person and now your whole world is just like, I have nothing. Like, you know?
Absolutely. And I know we talked about it, I think, our first interview, but you really dive deep into grief and having that faith. And I know you lost somebody that meant, a lot to you. So again, my condolences. But I think one of the chapters you even talk about that.
Yeah.
Um, so you do have like a really compassionate perspective on grief. And you don't say, hey, eliminate the grief. The grief is never going to be there. But you actually say like, be in the moment, cry
Hmm.
if you need to, reach out and navigating grief and carrying it. What have you learned personally about allowing yourself to grieve without allowing that grief to become your identity?
Ooh, keep. I like that. I like that. Um, Navigating grief. Well, at first I used to say when it first happened, "Oh yeah, I've accepted this." Like, I've accepted this. I've accepted this. I've accepted this, that could be within the first month. But 3 months later, it was like a totally different. I'm like, okay, dang, maybe I haven't accepted this. There is no right or wrong way to deal with your grief. Everybody deals with grief differently. And in all honesty, my grief and a lot of other people around me that were experiencing the same thing, it was all over the place. It was crying, it was drinking, it was weed, it was more drinking, it was all of the things. And then there was like, okay, let's sober up. And then there was the raw feeling, emotion, doing it sober. And then there was the stage, things are going well today, like how today is. Things are going well today. Today is going to be one of the best days of my life. And then you go in the store and you hear a song, or you smell a scent, or a picture pops up on your phone, or you think about, it just all type of things. Like grief, it just comes out of nowhere. So my main thing was to not die with the person that passed away. Like, I have to keep living. And the type of person that he was a person that was same thing, some similar to me, motivational, pull people up despite of things that he might have been going through. And that gave me all the motivation to keep living and not let grief bury me. I have to live on for this person, the people around me, and I can't let grief be my whole like thing. But there are weeks and days where we just got to sit in this. There's nothing we could do, essentially, right? There's nothing we can do. We have to sit in this. And I didn't even think about, like, what is this teaching me? Like, I don't know. Well, the main thing that it teaches you is that you have birth and then you have death. So between the birth and the death, what are you going to do in between? That's the simplest thing that it taught me. And so with thinking of that, that's what helped it not consume me and become part of my identity. So yeah.
Absolutely. And again, my condolences. And I know, it takes a lot of strength to be able to share something that personal. Um,
Yeah.
and just kind of taking us along part of that process. So I thank you for sharing that and being super
Thank
open.
you. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
let's talk about faith. So you make it a point to make it clear that when things are going good, when things are great, when life is doing the thing, it's easy to believe. It's easy to have that faith.
So
But for
yeah.
you, how do you continue to trust the process when there's uncertainty and you're just not sure what's next?
Yeah. That's kind of a season that I'm in now. So I would say I have lived a little long. I have lived, and I think from my own personal experiences of things that I've seen come into fruition, seasons that I've been in the past, I think I can finally say, like, I've lived long enough to know that things always work out for my like most loving and highest good. Now, the thing is, like we said, trusting and having that perspective that things will work themselves out. I had a situation going on this week where I'm just like, okay, that thing could literally ruin my entire week, even my entire day. Like, but I woke up this morning determined to, you know what, like, as long as I still have this and this, like, we're gonna roll with that. We're gonna roll and we're gonna rock with that. And we're gonna keep getting mentally in alignment with the actual thing that we want. And I really believe that this is a season that God has taken me through, really, because I wrote this book and He is testing to see everything that I wrote in this book. Can you practice that? Well, yes, absolutely, but I don't want to practice it
You said
right
I just
now.
wrote the book. I'm not trying to.
I'm not trying to practice it. Like, I'm just trying to push this book out and get it to people. But no, it is, like I said, it is challenging to have faith in the seasons where it seems like everything is going wrong. When you have lived and experienced enough things, and this also comes into play with how do you develop your faith? Like, and that's different for every individual. If you even have faith, a lot of people do not. But if you do, this is the book then. But really, I would say for me, I've just been through enough experiences to know and to believe in myself too that things always work out for me for my most highest and loving good. So let's make this shit work and let's do it.
Let's do the damn thing for
Do
sure.
it. Yeah.
So throughout the book, you do offer a lot of practical tools, and whether that's affirmations, visualizations, emotional regulation, and just different ways that we can check in and reconnect with ourselves sometimes if we're feeling a little lost or disconnected.
Yeah.
Um, if there's somebody today watching our interview, um, and they feel overwhelmed and they don't know like what to do, where to start, what advice or what tips would you give them? Like something that may be a little bit not specifically super detailed or a lot of different steps to like
Yeah.
where should they start? Because I think that's a question for a lot of us sometimes is like, well, I know I shouldn't be in this situation, or I know I should be doing something differently, but what do I do?
So my a therapist that I had a couple years ago, she broke something down to me very simple. And as a future therapist myself, this is how I want people to start thinking. Um, because when you're overwhelmed, it's hard for you to try to put things together perfectly, right? So, excuse me. So let's say that you're overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. So I tell people, okay, well, get out a notebook. Like, let's get out a notebook or get out your phone, get in the notes app. It's all kind of notes in my phone. I don't groceries, lists, all type of things.
Same. Lists on lists on
List
lists.
on
I got the
list,
journal, the planner,
password.
the book is
Yeah,
notated.
yes. So you're feeling overwhelmed. Why am I feeling overwhelmed today? Right? Because a lot of times we got to get out of our head. Like, let's take this out of my head. I'm a very visual person. So I'm overwhelmed today because, let's just give an example. I'm overwhelmed today because I just got paid. I don't have enough money. I need to get my car fixed. Whatever the case is. This, and this, and this. This is why I'm overwhelmed. But I want to do something about it. What can I do? Ask yourself, like, okay, what can I do? Because a lot of the times we don't talk out what the solutions are. We think up here, like, okay, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that. It's something spiritual about putting pen to paper or getting like this stuff out so you can visually see, okay, I need to get my car fixed, but my paycheck is a little short. But how can I solve this issue? So I'm just giving an
Mm.
example. Okay, maybe I know that I may be able to take out a loan, or I do have some money in my 401k. That may be a solution, maybe, right? Well, okay. So if I have a couple of solutions, okay, now where do I start? I got to call, I got to send an email, I got to go online and I got to do something, right? So that's what I tell people. When you have a problem or you have a feel, whatever, just keep asking yourself questions and write them down. Okay, why do I feel like this? Okay, well, what made you feel like this? Well, why did that make you feel like that? This person broke up with me and I hate them for breaking up with me. Okay, why do you feel like that? Well, because, I put all my time and effort and blah 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 and this and this. Okay, well, why did you do that? Well, because I love them. Okay, what made you let's go down. It's levels. It's levels to the underlining things, but start to ask yourself questions. Through those questions, you're able to find the solution or the answer. It sounds simple, but when you do it, you'll be surprised. Like, oh, maybe I should do that. But it's up to you to take that next step. That's a whole other level.
That's the process.
That's the
That's
process. It's the
the work
process.
that you have to put in and
Yes.
be ready to put in.
Yeah.
We do have some pictures, so I do want to talk a little bit about. I know you had a
Mhm.
recent book signing, and your book
Mhm.
is at the Howard Bookstore, right, in
Yes.
Detroit. So talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like, and how
And
it
this was
felt
a month
being able
ago.
to have all your friends, all your family, all your loved
Yeah.
ones come out and see you and see your book in store.
Yeah. So I had my book signing a month ago for my 35th birthday. And it was amazing. I ran out of books. I wish I would have had more books, but it was simply amazing. A packed room, packed house. It was like 100 degrees that day, but that's okay. It was amazing to see the love and support and to be able to finally tell some things like about the book, about what people get to experience, learning about the different chapters, the albums that go with the chapters, like all of the things. And but really just to feel the love and support in the room, like it was just so overwhelming and amazing. And then this week I took some books up to Howard Family Bookstore, and so there's a couple of copies there. So if you guys want to buy your copies and you don't want to go on Amazon, you can go to the bookstore, and you can purchase them. But that's also an amazing feeling to have an idea, a thought, and it come into fruition. And now there's like hundreds of, all these people buying the book and sharing the book and talking about the book. Like, it's like, wow, okay, like we did this. Like we actually did this. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's so incredible. And like I said, I'm halfway through mine right now, but I was showing you earlier. It's all, if y'all can see, it's all annotated and noted,
Yes.
throughout the book. Um,
It's some good
just
things.
stuff that really stuck out to me. And of course, I know you said they can get it on Amazon. We actually have a QR code, so it should be in the left hand screen.
Nice.
If
Yes.
y'all scan the QR code, it's going to take you directly to the Amazon link. You can get paperback, hardcover, right? So
Paperback
make
and
sure.
hardcover.
Look, we made it simple. If you don't feel like going to Amazon and searching the title, just
Yep.
scan the QR code, pull your phone out, and we did the dirty work for you guys.
Yes. Thank
Um, so of course we usually end, in by playing like a rapid fire game. Before we get to that, and I'll explain the rules to the viewers. Before if someone closes your book and remembers one thing out of these 365 pages, Kristy,
you. Hmm.
um, what is one truth you want the readers, to carry with them into their daily lives? That's why can today still be one of the best days of someone's life, even when life isn't going according to plan? Because we gonna be tested,
We're
just
gonna be
like
tested. We already been tested. We're gonna be tested. But today can still be one of the best days of your life because in this day, you more than likely you were able to learn something that can contribute to whatever it is that you have going on for tomorrow or for next week or for next month. Even if things happen. Your car break down on the freeway when you were supposed to be going to a job interview that might be able to save your financial situation, right?
Mhm.
Why is today still one of the best days of my life? Well, today taught me some resilience that I may need if I'm able to get another job or that same job that could change my life in the middle of a project, storm, whatever, because this is not going to be the only test. Today taught me resilience, it taught me patience, it taught me how to be solution oriented. And I need those things to continue to live my life and not just exist. You know, my lights got cut off. Not me, but just an example. My lights got cut off today. I don't have the money to, to pay for it. I have kids and I have to feed, my kids. Why is today still one of the best days of my life? Well, there's a situation that I need to change. I have a money flow problem, which we all do. Most of us, I would say, most of us, we all do. I have a money flow problem. I need to do something about this. Sometimes it inspires I'm fed up with this. I need to do something about this. And sometimes that doing something about this changes your entire trajectory, changes your entire life, entire rest of your entire month. So there's different things that we can definitely pull out of the day. Now, I'm not going to say that that is every day, but 93, 95% of the time, yes. Because when somebody dies, what am I? And I don't even want to say that it depends on the situation or the circumstance. A lot of people die when they're old, 90s, 100, right? Celebration of life. But when people close to you die, 20s, 30s, 40s, parents pass away, today might not be the best. You know, today it just might not be one of those days. But there are some, most, I would say majority of days when those things are not happening that can change how you see your situation. And that could be a change of a lifetime for you. So perspective is important.
Absolutely. And before we get to our game, I do have to ask you, what's
Hold on. Sorry, one second.
you are all good, all good. It's live, right? We're doing it.
We're
Um,
doing it.
so what's next for you? I know we're pushing the book. We're making sure that all the Detroiters have a copy.
Yes.
But what's next? Where book two?
Book,
What's next for
you know
Kristy?
what? Yes, yes to book two. I would say in 2 years. I what's so crazy is that I had an idea and a thought about this book like a couple of months ago for book two, right? And then I saw something on Pinterest, and now I can't even find it. I'm so mad about it. I know I have it in my phone somewhere because I screenshotted it. I'm like, that's it. I saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But we'll see. That's book two will definitely be coming up next. I am in the process of getting my master's degree next year. So right now, I am taking women therapy clients as an intern. I'm a social work intern, but I am able to take clients. So private practice coming a couple of years down the road with seeing therapy clients, books, wanting to do more speaking engagement, all of the things. So whatever God has planned for me, just all of those things.
Absolutely, super excited to see what's next. And I'm gonna test this out. I've never used this before, but let's get some applause in there. Okay. I
Love
said,
it.
I said, y'all have all these new features. That's what happens when you take some time off.
Right.
You haven't been making episodes. So lastly, I do want to talk. So there's like the chapter
Ooh.
list. And we see some faces. We see Big Sean. We see Rihanna, Solange, Beyonce, Adele. So this breakdown, because each chapter in the book has an artist and an album that kind of relates or connected with you in some way
Yeah.
in relation to the chapters.
Hmm.
So that's what kind of inspired me to create this game. And
Hmm.
usually we play like a rapid fire where it's just random fun questions. But I was like, this is Kristy's second time back on, so we're not going to do the same thing that we did in the last interview. We're going to change it up. So the game is called Heels, Healin, or Hillin. And I don't even know if Hillin would
Let's
work.
do it.
But
We're gonna do
the
it.
rules. Kristy already knows the rules. But for the takers that are watching, I'm going to give you lyrics, a situation, or even a thought that is inspired by some of the music and themes that are connected in the book.
Okay, let's do it.
Kristy, you have to decide whether it's heels, which is you're standing in power, this is
Okay.
confidence, self worth,
Okay.
boundaries, independence, and knowing your value, which we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Or healing. You're doing the work. You may not be fully healed, but you're learning, you're growing, you're trusting the process, and you're becoming.
Okay.
Or healing, which is, oh girl, you going back. Like, this is the nostalgia, the loneliness. Let me sit in this and try to make it work when I know it's not gonna work. You're
Okay.
healing instead of healing.
Okay. Let's
Um,
do it.
all right, so round one. Song lyrics from Lauren Hill. After winter must come spring.
Mm. Which would that be? Healing.
Okay.
Healing.
Okay. So when you're in that hardest like season of your life, or it may feel like it's the
Cause she's
hardest.
Yeah, because after that she says, change comes eventually. So you have to keep moving forward. So after winter must come spring. So change must come once we continue to move forward, but we can't go back. I like that.
Okay.
I like
Okay. I
that.
like that. This one
Hmm.
always gets me. You look so dumb right now. What did Rihanna say? Standing outside my
Standing
house.
outside my house. That's
Mm.
definitely heels. Standing on business. Yeah.
Looking back at that situation with every red flag being checked off, and you're like,
Yes.
nope, not again.
And that's a empowering thing because for time after time, you're like, okay, I'm gonna give them another chance. Or they coming, but it comes to a certain point where it's like, okay, now it's time for you to go. Like enough.
All right, the next one is from Sade. This is no ordinary love.
Woo! I
Mm.
remember writing this chapter when I was on a cruise. Okay, going through it. Um, no ordinary. Heals, healing, or it's in between. It's in between healing and healing. It's in between because you might be in a space where you're still clinging to it. Um, but you do understand that it might be time to move forward. You're trying to decide which, because you know how you need to do better. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. You need to do better, but you might need another month in you know before it's time to move forward. So it's like you're in between for sure with that one. When I listen to that, definitely in between trying to figure my feelings out.
So is it a genuine relationship, or is it just feeling intense because you're emotionally attached? It's kind of like
Both. Both.
all right.
Both, yeah.
Next one, Adele. We could have had it all. I think we
We
both
could
know.
have had it all. There's a fire starting in my heart. That might be heels. That might be heels. But one that I was listening to this a lot this year too, but goodness, what's this song called? Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. Jesus.
Mhm.
I mean, I love that song when it came out, but I'm not going through any relationship stuff right now. But when I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, I can just when you visually like imagine like just setting fire and flames to a situation, it it's healing. It's
I feel
healing.
that that whole Adele album, unrelated. I just saw Neo in concert, and when
Oh,
he
nice.
when he was singing "Mad" and he said, "I know sometimes it's gonna rain,"
It's
I
gonna
felt that in my
rain.
chest. I said,
Yeah.
"Ooh, that
Yeah.
that
Yep.
hit." All right, round five. So for Big Sean, I got you realize the story that you've been telling yourself about your past. This is a scenario. Doesn't
Yes.
have to determine the story you create next.
Yes. So that one, it's empowering. It's healed. You've decided that I no longer have to be attached to that story anymore. I like
Mhm.
that. Hmm.
All right, I got you with some Olivia Dean. It's another scenario.
Hmm.
So you love someone, but every time you're connected to them, your peace disappears. It's gone.
Mm.
Your heart says stay, but your spirit says you need distance. What you doing?
Ooh, let me see. What era did Olivia Dean have? She had me in. Mm, it was healing. Healing and heals at the same time. Healing and heals at the same time because she has some very empowering songs. Not just like for you, but also for love. But then there's also some songs where it's just like you're just letting things go. You're in the breeze. You're healing. So that one, both.
Okay. Follow up. What's the difference between fighting for a relationship and fighting against yourself to keep a relationship?
Fighting for a relationship is you guys have some light communication issues and you talked about it. They just have to be implemented. It's not going to be implemented within a week. Like that takes time, right? To say like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on. This is what I need you to work on. So you're fighting for that relationship, once you guys have put together a solution. It just takes time for the solution to come about, right? You said fighting yourself or going against you. I feel like when you have to do that, you got to make an assessment. You got to do a hardcore assessment. Like, okay, am I doing something wrong or is this just not for me? Am I not understanding like what we've been talking about or will this just not be in alignment? Is that's a thing. So, yeah, those are the two differences. Yeah.
Got you. All right, so Nipsey Hussle. I woke up this morning with a lot on my mind.
Now that
I feel like it could be all three.
I would say it could be all three because depending on what you're thinking about, well, then also depending on your thought process. So healing, you could be going back and forth with some things, right? Healing, you could be deciding something needs to change or, whatever the situation is. Heals could be I'm standing on what I've thought about. So yeah, I like that. That could be all three.
For sure, for sure. And then, um, so Beyonce, you won't break my soul.
Yes, the joy chapter. The joy chapter. That is heals. That is definitely heals. And and I know it was so cliche, and I'm like, oh, should I pick Beyonce for one of the chapters? But that album, for me, from my perspective, when I would listen to it, it just reminded me of so much joy, despite the things that we go through. Like every song to me, it's just like it's a dance, it's a vibe, and when you're doing that and living despite things, like it's a lot of joy. So yeah.
For sure, definitely. All right, so we're gonna do a quick bonus round. We're gonna speed things up a little bit. You don't have
Okay.
to don't overthink. We don't have to over explain. I'm gonna give you some
Okay.
scenarios. So if somebody hasn't texted you back in 3 days, so you send them a text message and say, "Hey, stranger, is that heels, healing, or healing?"
Uh, Healing, healing.
Healing. Oh, this one. So you see your ex looking happy on Instagram, and you immediately start wondering if you made a mistake.
Healing,
You say healing?
healing, because I shouldn't even be seeing you on. Especially if we just broke up. Like, no, we're not on social media. Saying
Nope.
seeing each other.
I'll be
No.
like, uninterested. Do not show me
Yeah.
these posts. Please take this
Maybe
out
in
my
like
algorithm.
2-3 years, but not. Yeah, but I also don't follow my partners on social media. So.
That part. That
No,
part.
thank
And then
you.
it's then you get the Facebook memories that pop up. You get your phone will be like, remember this day last year? This is
No,
what
I
you
do
were
not
doing.
remember.
No, I put it all in a folder with their name just because, God forbid, life is short if something happens. I want to have
Yeah.
memories, but they're in a folder that I'm not touching. I don't need it on
Yep.
my phone where it's directly accessible.
Yep. Yep.
Um, you finally stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you.
Heels.
All the
Hmm.
way, all the
All the
way.
way.
You say you want peace, but you're still checking the page of the person who keeps disturbing your peace.
Healing, cause hello, let's move forward.
What are you doing? Okay,
Let's
so this is the final round. Last one. No heels, no healing, no healing. Just your truth.
Okay.
So today is going to be one of the best days of my life. Not because everything is perfect, but because I'm choosing to keep moving forward, even through grief, uncertainty, and everything I don't understand yet. Kristy, what does that statement mean to you?
Life is going to keep moving forward. When you're dealing with grief, the minutes, the seconds, the hours, the days, the months, everything is moving forward. I have to try to move forward too, despite of what this looks like. So I need to figure out how I'm going to move forward. So that's what that looks like for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, make sure y'all get your copy of Today is going to be one of the best days of my life.
Yes.
Available
Yes.
now on Amazon. We're gonna make sure, I'm telling you, every Detroiter, every Metro Detroiter, every Michigander needs to pick up a copy of this book. And then again, we've also made it super simple. So if you guys don't want to find it on Amazon, go ahead and scan the QR code in the left corner of your laptop or your device, and get that book. Purchase the book. And Kristy, congratulations! I know you have big
Thank
things that
you.
are already happening. So make sure you let everybody know where to follow you on Instagram. I know it's been running at the bottom of the screen, but we got it there for
Yes.
you as well.
So my Instagram on the screen, but if you don't feel like it, it's Kristy Love, and that's Kristy with a K. Kristy Love with two underscores. Same thing on TikTok. Same
Awesome.
thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And like you said, we're going to give you some time so we can really hit the ground running and promo in the book and then another book to come.
Another book to
Gotta see,
come.
we just got to follow you because you're always doing something. It's hard
I'm
to
trying.
it's hard to pin either of us down. So I just
Yes.
want to thank you so much for coming back on the show
Thank
and
you. Thanks for having me.
looking forward to following you and seeing what's next.
Yes. Have the
Awesome.
best
That's our soon. You
day.
too. All right, so that was author Kristy Love. Make sure you guys go ahead and pick up your copy of Today is Going to Be One of the Best Days of My Life. Y'all see it right there. And I'm telling y'all, some good information in here. So make sure you guys are following Kristy on social media as well. Instagram at Kristy Love, Kristy with a K, two underscores. Go ahead and scan that QR code, get your book, and we'll be back with more episodes. That being said, also be sure to follow us on Facebook and all social media, streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And I hope you guys have one of the best days of your life today. And we'll be back with more interviews and content to come.